What would you say is the most well-guarded formula in the world today? Anyone?
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. That's right. Coca-Cola. Why? Because if you follow that formula, you can make what? Coca-Cola. Or how about Colonel Sanders, the secret recipe, right? If you have a recipe, if you have a formula, if you follow it step by step, you should be able to achieve the same result each and every time. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, tonight I want to talk to you not about a product such as Coke or Colonel Sanders chicken, but about a formula that if you follow it, it's a formula for life, or a formula for success. In fact, it's called the Ultimate Success Formula. The Ultimate Success Formula has 4 steps to it, just like a recipe. Follow these steps in order, and you shall achieve success. Step 1. What is it that you want? What is it that's your goal in life? Now, for some people, that might be attending college, perhaps settling down and starting a new family, a change in careers. Whatever it is, you need to decide, what is it that I want in this life? And you need to write it down. Studies have shown that if you write something down as a goal, you're more apt to be successful in it. Now, most people don't do that. They just have an idea in their head, and they say, well, I know I should do this or I should do that, to the point where they just should all over themselves. Okay? You need to write down your goals. What is it that you want to accomplish? Step 1. What is it? Step 2. Why? Now, this is probably the most important step in the ultimate success formula. Why do you want to accomplish the goal? But more often than not, people will just glance over this step without giving it a second thought. You've got to have the reasons. People will write out goals, and they start to look at it, and they go, well, how am I going to achieve this? Don't worry about how you're going to achieve it as much as why you want to achieve it. Reasons come first. Answers come second. If you have a strong enough why, the answers will reveal themselves to you. An example of this is in Colonel Sanders. Now, Harlan Sanders was running a cafe, and when the new interstate system came through, he lost a lot of business, so he just decided, I'm just going to go ahead and retire. So he closes down the cafe, and he gets his first check from the government, Social Security check. He looks at it, and there's no way I'm going to be able to live off this thing. I'm going to have to go back to work. Well, what's his skills, though? He knows how to cook, but he really didn't want to do that. So he says, you know what? If I can show other people how to cook my chicken, and then they pay me a percentage of their profits, well, I can make money that way. Now, it was a crazy idea at the time, but did it work? Of course it did. That's why we have Kentucky Fried Chicken. Did he have a reason why? Yes. He didn't have enough money to live off of. Now, that's a pretty strong why for some people. But he didn't want to go back to work. You know that Harlan Sanders started Kentucky Fried Chicken when he was in his mid-60s. Most people think when they hit their mid-60s, life's over. Okay? He started in his mid-60s Kentucky Fried Chicken. Now, he didn't just sit there and come up with the idea and the reasons why. He took step 3, which was he took action. He got in his car, loaded up his stuff, and he drove around for 2 years, hearing no, not interested, no, it's a lousy idea, I don't think it'll work. That's pretty good chicken, but I don't know if people will buy it. Okay? He lived off the samples that he would convince these store owners, hey, let me make some of this chicken for you. And that's what he was using to feed himself. 2 years of hearing nothing but no, until one day he heard yes, then another yes, and then another yes. Was he successful? Yes, he ended up selling the company for millions of dollars. Matter of fact, they kept him on after he sold the company because he's the face of Kentucky Fried Chicken. So, he set a goal, he knew why, and he took action. Now, the 4th step in the ultimate success formula is evaluation. You've got to evaluate whether or not the action you're taking is getting you closer to your goal or further away from your goal. An example of this can be found in Thomas Edison. Now, Thomas Edison is mostly known for making what?
Oh.
The light bulb. Exactly, the light bulb, which I'm waiting for it to come on. Now, the light bulb
That's good.
was made by Thomas Edison, and actually it wasn't a new idea. He was working on some other people's ideas, but as the story goes, he's in his laboratory one day, and he's doing another experiment on trying to make the light bulb, when boom, he has a small explosion take place in the laboratory. Well, he reaches over, immediately grabs a notebook and starts writing. Well, his assistant, "What are you doing? You nearly killed us. What are you doing? You know, you're just never going to get this. It's never going to happen. You've tried 9,999 times to make this light bulb, and it's just not going to work. You failed. Why don't you just give up?" Edison's response, "I haven't failed 9,999 times. I have simply found 9,999 ways to not make an electric light bulb." He evaluated what he was doing. He said, "I did create a small explosion. It may be useful somewhere else down the road. That's why I'm writing it down. What did I do to get that explosion?" But he kept on working, and that's why today we enjoy these lights, and we're not sitting in here with candles and kerosene lamps. So that's it, in a nutshell, the ultimate success formula. Know what it is that you want, why you want it, take massive action, and evaluate whether you're getting closer to your goal or further away from your goal. And if you follow this recipe, just like the Coke formula or Harlan Sanders' recipe for Kentucky Fried Chicken, you can have ultimate success in your life. Mr. Toastmaster.
Please take a moment to write Brian a note.